Okay, good luck. How would you feel if I told you that you could become happier, more successful, and more fulfilled, and all it would require is making one crucial mindset shift? You'd feel excited, right? Pretty excited. Yeah. So stay excited. I'm going to teach you how to make that shift, but first I want to share one fun fact. Did you know that the average person thinks between 60 to 80,000 thoughts per day? Raise your hand if you can't remember more than 100 from the past 24 hours. Same. So how is it that we're having so many thoughts, but most of them we're not aware of? Well, over 95% of your thoughts come from your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind. So that means only 5% of your thoughts are under your conscious awareness. What's in your subconscious mind? What is this mystery thing that's creating our life? Your subconscious mind is full of every past experience you've ever had. A lifetime of you being you. Everything that you've experienced has left a little emotional residue somewhere in your subconscious mind. That feeling of feeling free and excited and expanded when you're riding a bike for the first time with your dad. Or that feeling of shame, being picked last for a sports team in PE, standing there in your weird PE outfit like, oh gosh, I'm not good at sports. Or that feeling of elation when you finally pass the bar, all your hard work paid off. Or that terror when you were in a car accident and it caught you off guard. Every experience you've had has made you who you are, has created your belief system. And your belief system creates your reality. Neuroscientist Patrick Kavanagh says, our brain bends our perception of reality to meet our desires or expectations. Your brain is filtering reality to you through the lens of your individual belief system. So if you've had a lot of scary experiences, you're out there expecting more fear. If you grew up around people who were financially successful, you might see that opportunity for finance in all these different places to make your life more abundant. If you were raised with caretakers that weren't dependable, that you couldn't count on, you might be wary of people in relationships. Your belief creates your reality. How does that happen? Well, a belief is a thought you take to be true. A thought you've had enough times, a bunch of times, repetitive over and over and over again, that eventually it became a belief, became automated. And once that belief became automated, when you think about that thing, you feel a certain way, right? So opportunities for expansion might feel scary because there's gonna be like rejection. When you feel that way, you take actions in alignment with that feeling. When an opportunity for expansion, like a promotion, a potential promotion comes up, and you go, oh, it probably won't be me, I'm probably gonna be disappointed, I shouldn't get my hopes up. You feel that way, and you don't take action to pursue that promotion. But if you have an expanded mindset, if you're willing to tell yourself an empowered story, you might see that opportunity for a promotion and go, okay, that could be me. I believe in myself, I deserve that. I am worthy of that. That person would feel good. And what does that person who feels good do? They go talk to their boss and say, hey, what could I do to be considered for this promotion? They might take on more work just to show that they can fill those shoes. They might start dressing differently, acting differently, imagining their life with that new opportunity, that new role. When it's time to choose the person for the promotion, it's pretty obvious to see who's ripe and ready for that, right? How you think affects how you feel, which affects how you act, and your actions create your life. Author James Clear says, every action you take is a vote for the person you wish to become. Now, I could sit here all day, stand here all day, and cite placebo studies to talk about how belief creates reality. What you think to be true ends up becoming true for you. But I think the best experience that I have is from my own life. I was a child who experienced a significant amount of abuse, and it left me feeling disempowered. It made me feel like I couldn't realize my dreams because the person who was being hired to help me achieve my dreams was abusing me. I felt like I was somehow bad, like I'd attracted my own abuse. And this feeling of feeling so bad made me feel so unworthy of good things when they came into my life. To the point where if I got a gift that was too big, I felt so uncomfortable I would cry and push it away. I could not accept good things into my life. And even though this abuse ended when I was 16, I carried that same belief system with me for the rest of my life. I wouldn't let in people or opportunities into my life that were good because I didn't feel worthy of good things. When opportunities came in my acting career to step into my dreams, to change my life exponentially, I couldn't be my best in those big moments. I would self-sabotage in some way, shape, or form, something I'm sure a lot of us have experience with, because me actually realizing my dreams wasn't my expectation. My childhood had conditioned me to expect a low ceiling for happiness in my life, a low ceiling for fulfillment, a low ceiling for success. And I was the one creating those results over and over and over again. And then I heard this quote from Deepak Chopra. He said, "Your story is influencing your perception of reality, your expectations, your assumptions about what life is, and your beliefs about who you are." Wow. It hit me like a train. My story. And it made me think, what's the story that I'm telling about myself? What's the dialogue going on in my head? Of those 60 to 80,000 thoughts per day, what's happening in there? I started catching myself. I noticed my brain going, oh, that's not going to work for you. Other people get that, not you. Don't try. That negative self-talk, right? Raise your hand if you've experienced some negative self-talk, right? Every human on this planet. And this is how we end up in lives that are too small for us. This is how we say goodbye to our dreams and settle for something over here that feels safe. Because anyone's life will put fear into their consciousness. But if we let fear dominate our life, we end up in a life that we don't love. A life where we're not happy or fulfilled or experiencing the levels of success that we truly deserve. And when I realized that I could change my life by changing my story, I started speaking differently to myself inside my head. Didn't feel natural at first, but I started doing it. I started telling myself an empowering story. You can do it. You got it. You deserve that. You're worthy of that. It's going to be okay. Let's keep going. And as I did this, my life started to change. I started to get happier. I started to think differently. I started to see situations differently, and I looked back on my abuse and no longer saw myself as a scared little victim. I saw myself as an empowered woman. I came forward to the police about what happened to me. And after a 4-year, grueling legal battle with more victims coming forward, our abuser was finally incarcerated. I didn't stop there because I didn't come to just clean up my life. I came to have an amazing life. And that's what you came here for too. To have the life you truly dream of, the life you deserve. I kept thinking more empowered. I kept taking the actions of someone who was more empowered. I kept telling myself an empowering story. I then met my husband. I created a 6-figure business within less than 2 years, helping other people become empowered through their mindset at my retreats, through coaching, and through speaking. This work is deeply fulfilling to me. I'm happier than I've ever been. And it's not the kind of easy, cheap happiness that comes from that, when you eat Sour Patch Kids or all those, it's really good. It's not that kind of happiness. It's that deep happiness, that fulfillment from knowing that I created this result. And you can too. So how do you do this? You start speaking to yourself kindly inside your head. You start making sure the voice that's narrating those 60 to 80,000 thoughts per day is supportive, encouraging, and kind. The psychologist Albert Bandura wanted to study how believing in yourself affects success. Interesting, right? In scientific terms, this is called high self-efficacy. When you believe in yourself a lot, you have high self-efficacy. And he found that high self-efficacy was correlated with people being more engaged and more committed to their goals. People having quicker response times after setbacks, being able to get back on their feet and keep going after little hurdles. And those who had high self-efficacy were more likely to view problems as opportunities to succeed. It's not surprising that high self-efficacy was highly correlated with levels of personal and professional success. So if you want to be the best version of you, or if you want to help your team become the best version of themselves, help them step into the mindset of empowerment. Help them learn how to start telling themselves an empowering story. Because the longest relationship you're ever going to have in your life is the one that you're having with yourself. Take this, empower yourself, empower your life, and live the life you came here for. Thank you.